Hello and welcome to Cricket-O-Logy with Sandipan in race post cricket, of course. And today we have a special guest, Bharat Sundaresan, well celebrated cricket expert, and most importantly, a Bengali Jamai.
Most importantly, correct.
Race post cricket.
I'm very proud. I'm a big Satyajit Ray fan. I mean, I'm not, but I have to say that, right? So I'm sitting next to a Bengali as a Bengali Jamai on a Bengali station speaking English. The Anglo-Saxons, only Anglo-Saxons left in the world are in Kolkata, I was told. No, it's good to be here. Thank you. I love the name of the show, Cricket-O-Logy. It's got a good ring to it.
Yeah, it was like given by me only.
No, Sandipan, you've always been a smart boy. Yeah.
On a serious note, of course, we are at the building up for the third test match here at the Gabba. The ground is hosting one of his last few test matches, maybe.
Yes.
A lot of history, lot of nostalgia. And when we talk about the history of this ground, you were the only Indian representative back in 2021. Talk us through a little bit of those winning moments.
No, I mean, it's incredible. The fact that the stadium was packed, and a lot of it happened on the gold coin donation day as well. On day 5, as you know, in a lot of countries like England and Australia in particular, they don't sell tickets. So on the last day, you come and you pay through gold coins, whatever you can to enter the ground. It goes to charity, and it was that kind of day. So it had a feeling of a foregone conclusion. Australia was going to win. It felt India with it wasn't an inexperienced batting lineup. It was an inexperienced bowling lineup. But you still thought Australia had all the aces. India just somehow hung on to that famous draw in Sydney. It felt like finally Australia was ready to throw the knockout punch. And as it turned out, not a lot of local Australian fans did show up for the test. It was mainly Indian and Indian origin fans who kind of packed the Gabba that day. They kept running in even late in the day. And it was sensational the way the game went from how long India will survive to hang on, are India going to win this, to oh my God, India are going to win this, was very, very special, and one of those unforgettable moments.
Yeah, a book also.
And a very good book is as well as that. So The Miracle Makers is still out there. Go get it if you want to prep for this series. I met a lot of people in Australia and from India as well who apparently have read the book to prepare for this series. So now that we are at the Gabba, I know the test match starts tomorrow. You still have time. If nothing, buy the book, read that chapter.
Yeah, of course you do. Talking about this particular game, what happened in Adelaide? Do you think this Indian team can forget those scars? Rohit Sharma said in the press conference that those are not scars. We just lost the test match, but entire Indian batting lineup lasted 81 overs.
Yep.
So I felt that was kind of a scar.
I mean, on the basis of what we've seen so far, 4 innings, yes, 2 with the red ball, 2 with the pink ball. The one innings where they faced 134.3 overs in Perth and put on a big score, that seems like an outlier, doesn't it? Because it does feel like there are issues in this batting lineup, and there are issues with both batting lineups in terms of consistency. But this one in particular, the very fact that Nitish Kumar Reddy has top scored in 3 out of those 4 innings, batting at 7 and 8, tells you that the top order has to fire. And look, India managed to get over Adelaide 4 years ago. There were massive scars, but it became a badge thanks to Ravi Shastri, and then they won in Melbourne and went on to win the series, as you said earlier, famously here. So the only difference though was even back then, after they were 36 all out, that test match actually lasted longer than this pink ball test match, just to be honest. But they had a practice session on day 5, but it was rained off. But here, India did have a practice session, and all of them showed up and had a bat.
So do you think we can get something on those lines what we have seen in at Perth, maybe with the red ball?
Yeah.
As Shubman Gill was also saying in the press conference that they are habituated to play with the red ball.
Very much so, and also this pitch, there'll always be a talk of green, and green that.
Indian contingent are all reporting that there's a lot of green.
Yeah, and I've been saying that it's lost a lot of greenery over the last 2 days, and you've been here as well. You've seen that as well. So I think in terms of trueness and the fact that the ball comes onto the bat so much more than anywhere else, especially not on the pitches that India play Test cricket on at home. I think they will be a lot more at home here. The red ball, they're familiarized to it, and they have they can bank on that 134.3 overs that they faced against this very attack now that Josh Hazelwood is back as well. So yeah, and the onus will be on the two senior guys, as cliched as it is, on Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli to see if they can fire in the first innings.
Yeah, they need to fire, because you talk about that famous comeback of the 2021 series. If you can remember, Ajinkya Rahane's 100 right after they were bowled out of 36. As a captain, as a standing captain, day one of the Boxing Day Test match, he scored that brilliant long, and that I think lifted the morale of the Indian team.
Oh, absolutely. One of the most sensational hundreds I think ever made by an Indian in Australia or away from home. Against the odds, India was once again under pressure, and in very difficult batting conditions is where he got those runs. So, look, I think they have enough batting superpower. Yashasvi Jaiswal is due for another big score, isn't he? So, he showed us what he can do in Perth. KL Rahul has batted so well. He is due a big score as well. You think he should, the investment he's put into his innings so far, you think he'd come in handy at some point. He'll get the returns, the deserved returns. And yeah, I mean, Rishabh Pant loves playing here, as we know. And Shubman Gill, I spoke about the great memories he has of walking around this ground on that famous evening. So yeah, I mean, lots of happy thoughts for India at this ground, and also with that pitch.
I would like to wear your Australian hat now.
Yes, so.
What's happened wrong with Steve Smith?
Well, that's the thing. I don't think there's anything wrong with Steve Smith. I think it's both with Steve Smith and Virat Kohli. It's just the fact that you're seeing two great athletes who are not at the peak of their prowess, and it's understandable. That's how sport works, and we've seen this happen over and over again in all sorts of sports, where you're seeing the fading force of two of the greatest who ever played this sport. There will be sparks, there will be hundreds like the Virat Kohli one in Perth, or I'm sure Steve Smith. Like I did with Manas before the last test, I've stuck my neck out and said Steve Smith is getting a big score here, because I've been seeing him in training like I do. That's all I do, it feels like these days in my life. And he's shown a lot of good signs. It's just that he got the first bowler in Perth in the first innings. He was looking good in the second innings.
Unlucky dismissal.
Unlucky dismissal in Adelaide. And Siraj bowled him an absolute beauty in the second innings. So he is due. But again, with both of them, you will see from this point on, there will be these flashes where you'll be like, ooh, do they still have it? Are they going to recreate the glory of their past? It'll happen, but the consistency will go away. And that just happens, that age catches up with everyone.
Yeah. Until you are Joe Root, because he is scoring at will.
But he's much younger than these guys as well, like 2 years or so.
So-called Fab.
Yeah, true. I think his time will come as well. I mean, he's just nobody has looked like they could go close to Sachin Tendulkar's record, which also means, well, the only guy who came closest was Ricky Ponting at one point in 2007. Yeah. But then when you have 1.4 billion people wishing against you, I think that always comes in handy.
Of course. Australia, you I think asked that question to Pat Cummins after that victory. Their bowling attack, they look very agitated, very pumped up in Adelaide, of course. We haven't seen this Australian team very pumped up, especially, pumped up in the sense on their face. Obviously, they're professional athletes, but they on television or on their face, you don't see that kind of celebration that Pat Cummins did.
No, I think it came from all the criticism they got from Australians themselves, and that's also Australia as a country. It is a pretty insular country. They do look more inwards and outwards, and so the criticism after that Perth test, where it felt like half the country had turned on this test team, fueled a lot of it. You could see Mitchell Starc in his press conference talking about the noises from this room and pot shots and all of that. And I think they wanted to make a statement, not to the Indians really, but to their own fans. And it was a proper, strong statement. And I've rarely seen Pat Cummins celebrate wickets with the gusto that he did in Adelaide.
And finally, what do you see about the aftermath of that whole Siraj head incident? Do you see any flashes of it over here also?
No, not at all. I think I wrote a column about it 10 years ago. If something like this would have happened, it would have been the spark which would have ignited the series. In this case, not even Sydney Gate, even 2014. Like people remember, the emotion on day one after Philip Hughes' passing. But by day three, everybody was sledging each other, and that got pretty. It was in your face. Haddon and Kohli and Warner and Mitchell Johnson, everybody was at it. So That's how things were. But now, before anything happened, you could see everybody was dousing the fire. I said before there was even smoke. So yeah, I don't think that'll be a big deal. And Head and Siraj already seem to have buried the hatchet if there was one, by hugging and not quite kissing, but like they came close anyway. It's a tight hug. Yeah.
Of course, you said that the criticism pumped up the Australians. I hope the criticism of 1.3 billion people or what happened in Adelaide, that will pump up the Indians as well. And we'll get to see a good test match, provided the weather. Yeah, because there is a little bit of weather around.
Just for tomorrow, I think we should be fine. I think it'll miss us. There might be some rain tomorrow, but yeah, not to forget the criticism, by the way, from the Indian media, which doesn't include me anymore.
Oh yeah, you are Australian.
That's right, man. Yeah.
So that was Bharat Sundaresan in his unique style, of course. And please do keep following Race Sports Cricket and Cricket-O-Logy with Sandipan. Of course, Bharat will be our guest at the time India will win the series.
Oh yeah, just on that, you leave Bharat aside, so Sandipan does some amazing work. He travels the world, not just cricket, he follows all sport. Keep watching Race Sports, keep watching Cricket-O-Logy. This boy is very special, and he'll take you on a ride all around the world. So stick with him, subscribe, like, and everything else you do, just support Sandipan, Race Sports, Cricket-O-Logy, and everyone who is fine. We need more good people in this world, and I'm sitting next to one.